Hey YouTube, how's it going today? Today is Saturday, October 20th. I guess it's Sweetest Day in Detroit, and since I've been away from Detroit, I haven't celebrated Sweetest Day in Lord knows how long, because that's a Detroit thing, and frankly they just don't celebrate it in other places. There was something on the screen there. This video I'm gonna do very quickly. It is actually by request. On the last video, in the video response to Miki, I had mentioned something that I guess sparked interest relating to fight or flight, and that's something that I have been meditating on now for the past week and a half, I believe. I guess I wanted to talk about that a little bit for you guys today, and as well as touch on it for that person who requested. I'll begin my flight or fight story, and I guess as I mentioned in the last video, I am a flight type of person. And the story that I can relate to actually starts way back in my childhood. I have always been a flight type of person. I am probably most known by my family and friends as the most peaceful person of the group and not a fighter. With that being said, in the 5th grade, for some reason or another, there was a girl, and her name was Shamika, ironically, and she wanted to fight me. And I have no idea. I don't even remember what happened. I don't know why she wanted to fight me. But I was teased a lot as a kid, which is why I do a lot of talking about people today. And it's probably not right, but I feel justified in doing so because I've been talked about all of my life. And if something is out of place or weird or funny, I'll point it out and I'll talk about it. Sometimes to your face, and maybe that's something I need to change or work on. But this girl wanted to fight me, and you know, she gives me the sign she wants to fight me, whatever and whatnot, and you know, all the other kids in the class are all, you know, instigating, and they're all involved, and you know, and the bell rings, and I was gonna run home. And what happened was, instead of running the normal route home, I went an alternative route, and which put me a block up from my house, and I kind of was trapped in between the block from my house and the block I was on, because kids were on both sides and Shamika was somewhere in that crowd or whatever have you. So I requested that they go get my mom, and I think my sister, I don't know if my sister was there or whatever, but you know, we weren't sisters like that where we just, you know, team up and fight someone. I don't know why, but we weren't, and I don't know who went and got my mom, but my mom comes down and gets me, and she's pissed, you know, and so she takes me over to Shamika's house, and Shamika's mom is there, and you know, my mom's like, well, do you want to fight? And Shamika's like, hell yeah. And I'm looking at my mom like, no, what are you doing? Like, aren't you on my side? No, we don't want to fight. And so we don't fight, and my mom was like, you know, come on, let's go home. But my mom said something to me that I always remember. My mom said, she's going to want to fight you tomorrow. And if you don't fight her tomorrow, she's going to want to fight you the day after that. She said, but don't run your ass home and don't call me. And if you come, and if you do, you're going to get your ass beat when you get home. One of them situations. So the next day, you know, I go on about my day, go on about my business, but Shamika's still on it. She want to fight. She ain't forgot. And for some reason or another, I get dismissed from school early. I don't know. I was very smart student, very studious. I talked a lot, but I don't know what happened, but I get let out early. So I'm thinking, great, I get let out early. I can go home again, and I'm on my way home. This time I'm not so much running, but I'm probably walking pretty fast, but I go the regular way home. I get about halfway home, and I hear that bell ring, and those kids just started running, and all I heard is, Shamika, there she is. And I turned around, and there she was, and I dropped my bag, and I had the fight. And everything else was kind of a blur. Only thing I do remember was there was snow outside. It was snow. It's like, who wants to fight in the snow? But yeah, there was snow outside. So I had the fight, and after that, you know, her and I never exchanged words again, even into adulthood. She ended up being really good friends with my cousin in high school. I never spoke to her again. We didn't cross paths. Nothing was said. No harm, no foul. But that, when I thought about that story not too long ago, about a week and a half ago, I thought about how I chose flight over fight. But when my back is against the wall and I don't have any other choice, then I will stand and fight. And that's resonated through my life in a bunch of instances, where, you know, I typically try not to fight my siblings, you know, unless strongly provoked. A couple of them can attest to that. And when in domestic situations with men, I definitely will fight then, because I do feel like my back is against the wall, having been in having been a child in the middle of domestic, you know, abuse and things like that, or having seen that as a child, I should say. I will definitely fight then. But then I do flight. I do leave. Most of the time, the flight kicks in when my feelings have been hurt, when there's something that has happened that was beyond my control. And I moved a lot. I moved a lot in Detroit. I moved back and forth to Arizona twice. I lived in Chicago for a short time. I lived in Georgia for a short time, and now I'm here in Florida. And I didn't really get the breadth of how much I actually moved in my life until I applied for a passport. And when I took my passport in to have it processed at the post office, the lady did not copy my license light enough. So it got kicked back by the U.S. government or whatever, the Department of Citizenship or Homeland Security, or whoever does the passports, INS. And they kicked it back, and they sent a letter saying, you know, you need to verify all of your addresses. You need to verify every place that you've worked. And when I got to looking up my addresses, I mean, I had to pull stuff from everywhere. I had to pull a credit report because, you know, addresses are on there. And when I got done, when I got done with that list, I looked at that and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that I have lived this many places in my life. And that definitely comes from the flight situation. But my counselor said something very profound to me, and that really resonated with me, and it's helped me through the situation that I'm currently in. She said, no matter where you go, there you are. And so that was to say, you know, no matter where I run, I still showed up there. And I didn't run away from the problem, because the problem resides with me. And I never stood to deal with the issue or deal with the pain or deal with the hurt of as to why I ran away from that spot in the first place. Generally, every time I broke up with a guy, I moved. I didn't want the pain of being there. I didn't want the pain of knowing that he had even been there at some point. I didn't want the pain of, you know, the memory of oh, we used to sit here, you know, I don't know what it was, but I moved. I just picked up and moved. Me moving to Arizona probably was just the pain of losing my uncle and not wanting to be in that same job, not feeling recognized by my cousin, you know, who had taken over from my uncle, feeling as if I was just like not being acknowledged and kind of selfish in a sense at that time. But I was hurting too, and boom, I go to Arizona because I can't work, you know, because I worked with my uncle, and you know, and I can't live because, you know, I lived on one of the properties. And so it's like, you know, I went there, then I came back, I got into a situation with the dude I went down there with, and then, you know, ended up coming back to Chicago, and then back to Detroit, and then going back to Arizona, and then not, you know, dealing with that guy, and you know, it's just guy after guy, thing after thing. And so now that I'm here in Florida, my spirit feels definitely settled. But I had that flight feeling just not too long ago. I've been having it for quite some time, and I've been trying to work with that. Normally when I do feel it, usually I have a way out. I usually have a way out, which is how I justify it. You know, I can see the plan. I can see the picture plain and clear. You know, the money falls, you know, boom, I can go. And people think it's really courageous. Like, you can just pick up and leave. Hell yeah, I can. However, this time when I wanted to go, I couldn't see it. I could not see it. I couldn't see where to go, and for the first time in my life I felt confused about it. I felt like I didn't know where to go, where to turn, or what to do, and so I had to turn inward. I had to look within myself and figure out what it is that's making me do this. And I truly believe that this is my test. This is my test to stand. And it's weird because I had a dream, and in the dream, the theme of the dream was loyalty. You know, was staying loyal and staying true to myself, not to the job or not to the relationship, but being loyal to myself and standing, you know, in principle for what it is. And that next night I was trying to go to sleep, and all I kept hearing was Donnie McClurkin stand. That's all I kept hearing in my head. All I kept hearing. When I woke up in the morning, it was still there. And so, I mean, it's, you know, I know it's on the spiritual level, it's my spirit, it's my angels telling me that I need to stand and fight through this thing. So, you know, I guess I said all that to say, and touching on flight or fight, many women out there are doing it, are, you know, running away from situations and problems. But I will tell you, wherever you run, there you are. So the answer or the solution to that is you have to work on you. You have to figure out what it is inside you and make that correction and make that adjustment, so that you can move forward in your life. Once you become happy on the inside, you project that on the outside, and everything else will fall in line. You know, guys would start to recognize that you are happy, and that mess won't come to you. That mess will not come to you and confront you, because they will feel like they can't ruin your life. You know, they can't bring no drama to your life. So they won't even approach you. The garbage won't even approach you when you have that happiness about yourself. And I know that to be fact. I know that to be fact. And you won't go for it. You put the brakes on it, you know, at onset. You know, that resonated so loud and clear. I was so happy you know, in my life and content, you know, just about a year ago, and you know, dudes were coming onto me, you know, and with that drama, and they were just getting dropped, you know, right at the gate. You know, it's like, no, you know, sorry, I don't want to deal with that. I'm happy, you know. And you have to figure out in your life what that happiness consists of. You know, maybe it could be losing weight. For me, it was losing weight, and being very self-conscious about my personal image. For me, it was finishing school, you know, at one point, to be happy. And you know, now with my job, it's, you know, it's being able to find value in what I'm doing in life. In, you know, in my career, it's, you know, it's being able to be valued, number one, being valued, and then finding value in what I'm doing. Those are two things. So I'm working on that slowly. And for you ladies out there that have been running and running and running, stop. Because it's you. It's not the dude. It's not the parent. It's not the circumstance. It's not the situation. It's you. And you have to figure out what it is inside you that's got you running, that's got you on the run. So there it is. There's how I feel about fight or flight. And I'm not saying that I probably, you know, won't fly again. You know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not sure, but I definitely will be fighting this time. I'll be fighting my way up out of this situation, and without losing myself. You know, without losing myself. So with that said, YouTube, stay tuned for more. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscriptions. And if there's anything you want to say, anything you want to add, drop the comment below, or drop me a message or whatever have you. So until then, deuces, and stay cool. Peace.